Hey everyone, today is going to be a video about Fallout 4, and to be honest, while a lot in part it absolutely sucks in comparison to New Vegas and in many ways Fallout 3. So, the Fallout games. You make your character, they do what you want them to do. They have, in many cases in the Fallout games, they have no personality, and it is up to you to make them be that way. Now, in Fallout 1, you were sent to recover a water chip. I've never played Fallout 1, 2, Van Buren. I played some of Fallout 3, I played some of Fallout 3, I played all of New Vegas and Fallout 4. In Fallout 2, you were the grandson of the person, well, the grandchild of that person, and you were to destroy the Enclave. In Fallout 3, you were literally going to find your father, you find him halfway through the game, and that's it. And then you destroy the Enclave with a thing running between the second and the third one. And in New Vegas, in possibly the most blank slate of all of them, you were a courier who had been shot in the head, metaphorically having no memories of everything, and now you go to get the person who shot you. Blank slate for all of the 4 previously mentioned games. Now, in Fallout 4, you are the parent of a child and the spouse of another person who rushes into a vault only to be cryogenically freezed. Now, Bethesda makes an attempt, and I say attempt because, to be honest, it's pretty fucking lackluster. You say, "I love you, Sean! Bye. I won't see you again until like 24 hours of like actual real life time until I find you again, or more, because I'll probably forget you halfway through. Bye, spouse. I've only talked to for about, I think it's about 5 dialogue lines, 5 choices, maybe less. The point of which you can only ever deter a conversation with them is A, I want to go to the park, B, I want to go to the veterans notice, or C, I don't want to go to the park because I'll get pregnant again, / I'll make you pregnant again. You kind of have a personality there of a loving parent, and then suddenly you go back into the wasteland, you get out the vault, your character just closes their eyes and completely forgets about everything. Well, they talk about Sean about 7 times and how badly they want to find him, but to be honest, there's no real motivation to get there. And to be honest, you can progress through the entire game and not really give a shit about your son, who apparently your character really loves, but has never made any impact for it. Also, this person, supposed to be having a personality by Bethesda, never really bothers to comment on the world. Actually, they do comment on the world around them. You can say it's a shithole. You can comment on the world about once in the vanilla game, which is to Piper during a vault interview. You can comment on it another time, which is when Dima thinks you're a synth. But other than that, despite having gone through all of this effort, your character just doesn't seem to give a shit that the world they've previously known in has been turned upside down into atomic wasteland with raiders and super mutants and bears, and no tigers yet, or lions, but we'll probably get to that soon. No Bethesda. But the whole thing seems kind of half-assed. It's like, hey, we're gonna make the citizen who's a real American patriot. Oh look, they get out of the vault after being cryogenically freed. They have no idea what's going on, and bang, they now have a huge issue with memory, because apparently they have forgotten everything other than the fact that apparently they can use all types of guns and power armor, and know how to instantly build a settlement from scratch, and they seem to be a little bit of a dick, if you choose to be that way. So, personality-wise, the game is completely fucked. Okay? Okay? I'm just playing a nuke world, though, to give you guys something to look at. But to be honest, it's just really stupid that they don't capitalize it on that. I mean, in New Vegas, you could talk about your life, alright? You have no parents, you don't know what a fish is, you don't know what a Chicago is, any of those can turn around. You find out some of your past, that during the final DLC you confront Ulysses, because you were a courier who apparently destroyed a nation. That's cool, and you know what, you can mould your character's personality through. There's no backstory apart from the fact that you blew up a fledgling nation, but there's no memory of your life before, or apart the fact you were a courier. It's a blank slate for you to work on, and then Bethesda does like a half-assed slate and goes, just all the Bethesda-ness just oozing out, and it's like, yeah, all that life you had before, you just forget about it, or not give a shit that your perfect life has just been completely turned upside down, and you now have to fight for your life in this irradiated wasteland that is now Boston. Off topic for the moment, why is all of the buildings and stuff really thin? Boston and Massachusetts are up in the north. It's fucking freezing up there. Have you been there? It's cold. I mean, I have been up there. I've been to New York, and Boston is like near that area. It is freezing as fuck and cold. And what a nuclear winter does is make things even colder, because all of the fallout has blocked the sun. Alright? So, and like, there's rain everywhere, there's no insulation. There's like, what the shit going on? But yeah. The overall motives for, the overall motives for Fallout 4 is basically, yeah, I'm going to find my son. Ooh, there's a shiny. That's it. The DLCs are kind of better. For, what's it called? Mechanic Metatron. The Mechanist DLC, which is possibly the most pathetic attempt at a DLC I've done, basically consists of around 4 missions in which you confront somebody to tell them that they did a bad thing, and you'll let them live because you're a good person. After blowing up most of a facility and about a whole army's worth of robots. In the second DLC, which is probably the most well-written DLC Bethesda's done in their entire game history, not that that really matters given Bethesda's history with storytelling, in that it's just like, you go out to find out if somebody is a synth or not. You are hired, and go with Nick Valentine, who you should probably go with. We'll get back to Nick Valentine later. So you're hired to figure out whether or not this girl is a synth. And eventually, unlike a lot of this apparent storytelling in which you are the only one who can make the decision of whether or not she's a synth, which you do, but you can choose the option in which the girl just leaves it up to herself, in which she's just a person. That's fine. There's clashes between religion and survivalists, which is hinted at, but it's... Actually, I'll take it back. It's good written, not best written. It's kind of melded together, and the choices you make are good. You know, it's overall a good DLC, and I would recommend playing Far Harbor. It can get a little trippy sometimes, though. But then the next DLC we have in Nuka World, which, to be honest, is a theme park in which I don't even know how to fucking say this. It's just, it's a mess, alright? The overall premise for Nuka World is, A, you go there, you become the overboss, and you help the raiders secure all the park. You find out some interesting stories. You find out that the CEO of Nuka World, spoilers, tried to keep himself alive by putting his head in a jar, and then instantly regretted the decision about 300 years later, where you kill him. And then, after securing all the parks for the raiders, you find out that, surprise, 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 they're going to take over the wasteland. So you do what I did and just mowed all the raiders down. An overarching theme for all of these DLCs is, unlike New Vegas, which I'm comparing this to, the characters don't have any real energy to them. It feels like they're just cardboard. I am person B. This happened to me. I will not change my personality or be any way memorable to you in any way, shape, or form after this brief 12-second dialogue in which you can either answer yes, no, maybe, or be a sarcastic asshole. The only character I liked in Nuka World was the leader of the Operators, a raider group who operates solely for money, who admitted that they were there into Nuka World to do what the people who built the theme park did, to rob people of their fucking money. I quote. True. Apart from that, it seems that, to be honest, that all of Bethesda's DLCs are just somewhere for you to run around and not really give a shit about afterwards. In comparison, in New Vegas, Dead Money, which was the first one they released, was absolutely terrifying. Alright? Do you remember that? Do you remember Dead Money? The City of the Dead, the Sierra Madre, the characters, the ghosts, the traps, the vault, Father Elijah. Alright? That poor girl who was Veronica's girlfriend, who had to be forced away from her and went after Father Elijah and was a mute for the rest of her life. Well, until she got a voice modulator implant. But for the love of me, I can't remember her name. I'm horrible at names. Christine. Do you remember Christine? You could say a lot of things about Christine. You could hold an entire conversation with her based on your stat points and just doing finger clicking. You got real emotion at times in which you squeeze her hand and say, I'm coming back for you. There is none of that shit in Fallout 4. There's no interactive characters, there's no interactive dialogue, there's no text and text and text boxes of lines. It's just yes, no, maybe, sarcasm. It's stupid. It really is. Another thing that it lacks is the ending for many of the DLCs. Your choices. How much you did. Did these people live? Did they survive? What did they do afterwards? In Fallout 4, there's like none of that. It's like, yeah, everything go back to normal and the game world isn't changed or affected at all. Like, what? A common saying for Fallout games, or Fallout 4 in particular, is as broad as the ocean and as deep as a pond. Fallout 4 in many ways is a game that fucked it up, to be honest. I was excited for it, I really was, but then I saw the dialogue system, I saw the ammo, I saw the weapon choices, the ammo, the plot of the game and everything, and I started to think, now hang on, this is a little bit screwed up. Like, they put effort into it, they really did, but it seems like, I don't know how to say it, like, where did such effort go into? Because I can't find it in the game. I mean, it's nicely detailed. Did all the effort go into details? Did none of it go into the storyline or the character? Actually, that's probably where it went. None of it went into the storyline or the characters, did it? It's a game that just appeals to the mass market. Yes, no, maybe, sarcasm. I go back to New Vegas every so often so I can play a game that I feel was fun and all that. Like, there's a lot of size involved in me figuring out what the hell I'm going to say next. This is just me rapid firing off everything that's annoyed right now. Even the companions. Even the companions in Fallout 4 suck. Mainly because there isn't that level of emotional dialogue or understanding with them. Boone in New Vegas was a post-traumatic stress disordered sniper who shot his wife and wanted nothing more than, if you choose, to just kill people, work as a mercenary, or try to make amends. There was Cassidy, somebody who had so much hate for these people and went on a massive revenge quest in which you killed a lot of major players. You killed people who were the only energy weapon specialists and the only place you could buy energy weapons from. You killed the leader of this branch of the largest trading hub. Well, of what seems to be the largest trading network company in post-apocalyptic America. Could go with Veronica as she, a naive girl who tries to understand the world around her. There's none of that in Fallout 4. You get the Force one with Paladin Dance, which is like, I'm a synth now, I want to kill myself, and then like Elder Maxon comes like, it's like, I need to kill it. It's like that most of the time. But other than that, there's just no emotional connectivity with the characters in Fallout 4. It feels like you're staring into some fucking cardboard face that are better graphic, the better textures and stuff, but in the end it matters little, as when it comes to story writing, it's not the graphics that matter, it's the fucking story writing. You know, I had high hopes for Fallout 4, and to be honest, I doubt I'll ever publish a review for it. I have the means to, I have the time to. It just disappoints me every time I have to talk about it. I mean, it's a game I enjoy playing. To waste time. They tried to do so many things and failed with every single one of them. They tried to do crafting and settlement building, both of which goes tits up, as it takes a hell of a lot of time to craft anything. And settlement building, in which you build a settlement, you need crafting materials for the settlement, you need to build defences for the settlement, and if you have too many settlements, you'll never be able to defend all of them, which means, in a pre-scripted animation, the settlement loses most of its defences. Even when, humorously enough, I had 10 sentry bots on a farm, a missile launcher, a Gatling laser, both in each hand, and a pair of Fatmans. Right? Apparently that fell to a small raider attack. None of the sentry bots died by the way. I mean, literally, I was there once when an attack came, and the attack lasted about 10 seconds after the combat music came on. And then, of course, we've got our old friend, the meme, the only character who you'll remember from Fallout 4 in a few years' time, which is Preston Garvey for all the wrong reasons. The person who wants you to build a fucking settlement over and over and over again. You know the endings for Fallout 4 sucked as well. For the Institute, it's basically the same thing. You go into the reactor and you blow it up. The Brotherhood of Steel is kind of the same way, but at least they're ingenious about it. The Institute have you hack into Liberty Prime, who fires his eye laser at it. The Railroad has you probably do the most dangerous one, in which you infiltrate the Pridwin, which is the airship, alone, and detonate it, and kill everyone on the way there. Or you have the Minutemen, in which you can stack all the odds up against them if you have unlimited settlement building and robots, sentry bots, and missile turrets, and the vertebrates, and you just watch and you just swap the vertebrates out the air. That's it, really. It feels like in Fallout 4 that you don't have a choice. You're going to say, nuts, there's plenty of choices you make. Yeah, but are these choices that truly mean something? Are they choices that makes you determine a faction's fate off screen? Are these choices that makes you doom a vault full of people without water supply to starvation? Are they choices in which you destroy two factions off screen by launching nukes at them? No. They are not. And it's pretty messed up, isn't it? You know, Another topic I wanted to get about to Fallout 4 was weapons. The weapons I'm using here are not in Fallout 4 at all. These are a mod that is no longer available because the person was taking all the stuff off Ghost Warrior or Chernobyl games or something. But the weapons in Fallout 4 feel bland. You know? You get legendary variants of them, but apart from just upgrading them, it's kind of pretty bad. One thing I wanted to touch on was the perk system and special. In every other Fallout game, special determined how your character would act, how they would react to people, how those people would react to them, and your interactions with people. Do you know what I was talking about with Christine? The only way you can have these dialogues with Christine is if you have high intelligence and perception. None of that matters in Fallout 4 apart from having charisma, which basically says, hey, give me more money. All of that is just wasted. There are ways you could get around people in New Vegas, Fallout 3, Fallout 2, Fallout 1 and Van Buren by simply having the special for it. The special which defines you as a person. That defines how others act around you and how well you are able to influence them. And in Fallout 4, all those stats mean is you ask for a couple of extra caps. I feel that's a fitting sentence for Fallout 4, to be honest. And you know what, I probably got a lot of things wrong in this video, but this is a rant. Thank you for sticking around this long. If you did watch to the end of this video, give me a thumbs up. I love you all, and see you next time. Oh, post a comment down below if you agree or disagree or whatever. Let's have a flame war about it. Go Flame Wars! And you know, get your friends to subscribe. I'm on 399 right now. YouTube might not ever want me to reach 400. Let's prove YouTube wrong. And get 1 trillion likes! Bye!